All right. So as we jump into infection control, all right, y'all, here we go. Explaining infection control. Okay. We do want to focus on the vocabulary. I think that's nothing new with everybody. We want to focus on the vocabulary. In this particular chapter, we are going to focus on the vocabulary because we're going to do index cards, term on the front, definition on the back, term on the front, definition on the back. Okay. And you also are going to do check-in questions. So this week on due Sunday will be the check-in questions, and then the following Sunday would be your terms. Okay. So just make it a check and make sure you have those. And you'll probably end up sending a pic of those or a short video that shows that you have done them as you prepare to move back into the building. Okay. And as I'm still looking at dates in relation to that, I am going to do an announcement sometime this week with a course calendar to follow. Okay. And so that's pretty much our update on that. So we're going to explain infection control. It says infection control refers to the methods used to eliminate or reduce the transmission of infectious organisms from one individual to another. And I think we started last week and we were talking about signs of infection. When you see this, is watch it. Organisms, bad organisms, dirt, or bacteria can get anywhere. Let me tell you, as much as you clean your skin, it feels clean, it look good. There's still organisms, skin mites, germs, bacteria that's on the skin. And some people call it the good and some people call it the bad. So as esthetician, I do want you to know, we're making sure, yes, we tell our clients to touch our face, touch their face, things of that nature. But you're always going to have some form of bacteria left on the face. So you have to have an educational session with your clients. And then we'll even look at a few things. I know in our lash department, aesthetics, cosmetology, I always talk about headlights, scabies, things of that nature. But there are something called skin bites. Okay, skin bites. And those skin bites are it's a bacteria on the skin. All right. And too much of it could really cause allergic reactions, breakouts, coupled with oil, sweat, and dirt, bacteria, a whole lot of stuff. So we got to make sure all the way around that we're practicing infection control. Can you 100% control it? I'm going to say on our level, no. Okay. But we can have enough control that it prevents, it's a great option in place that prevents our clients from getting disease. It's in place to get our clients so they don't have anything communicable that comes from our place to their place. They're not taking anything home. They're good to work in a great environment, in a great establishment, and not have to worry about their health. Okay, so and then Tennessee has requirements set forth, even in the braid certification that we talked about, requirements set forth of infection control and hygiene. Okay. And so it's a big emphasis on hygiene as well that helps prevent the spread of infection. All right. So I just want you to know that's our brain for the next week and a half is how do we stop the spread of disease, bacteria, infection, things of that nature. How can it be transmitted? Contaminated implements. And you may say, Ms. Cox, contaminated. What is that? Dirty. Okay. So I'm going to highlight this here, put it in yellow. It says cyst transmission can also occur when using contaminated implements. All right. You would say, Ms. Costa, what is contaminated implements? Your extractor tool that you're going to use on the face to remove that blackhead, burst that pimple, that whitehead. Okay. Contaminated implement. Got it? That's a contaminated implement. All right. And so that means dirt. That means you didn't clean it after use on the first person. That means that person, germs and bacteria, old dead skin cells, you put it on a new person, clean area, okay? You just taking that person's dead skin cells and put it on another one. Then what if that person is super sensitive, even not super sensitive, it's dirt on top of dirt. And what if you're not cleaning your tools in between clients? You're carrying bacteria from client to client to client. And now you are spreading, okay? You're part of the problem of spreading that germ, dirt, and bacteria throughout, and they're going home with, especially when you start to see clients with the same thing going on in the same area. I.e., you look at barbers, multiple clients having certain issues going on in the back of their head, on the side, wherever a certain razor, wherever a certain clipper is used. Yeah, we have some issues. Okay. Um, so implements, tools that we use, okay, things that we may use on the face, makeup brushes. All right. It picks up oil, sweat, and bacteria from one. Should be cleaned thoroughly before using on another. This is where our disposables come in as well. And here's a note. You cannot use real makeup brushes at State Board for the makeup sector of your test. You have to use disposables. Okay, you have to use disposables. That came about during pandemic when we were 2022, trying to figure out this new testing thing, trying to operate, open up schools and salons back after the pandemic or still during the pandemic. And you have disposables. You have some things that have set over in a place for a long time. Tools, combs, or equipment. You talking about shampoo bowls, chairs, the beds. We got to make sure, y'all, that the bed is clean, the facial bed, massage bed, all of that has to be clean prior to, okay? All of that has to be clean prior to your client coming in. It all has to be clean, okay? And so you'll make sure that all of that's clean, it'll be properly covered, things of that nature, because equipment itself could also spread germs and bacteria. Even on our towel warmers, all right? We ask that you put a paper towel on the handle to open it so there's no spread of germs and bacteria, especially if there's multiple students using that warmer, okay? And so a part of our treatment room cleanup is making sure all of our equipment is sanitized before service of the client and all of the equipment is cleaned after and disinfected, I should say, disinfected after the use and use on a client. The performance of effective infection control procedures must be a top priority in the salon, spa, and barbershop. I'm gonna identify where you will find the procedure for effective infection control, okay, for different things. You have it in your section, and it's called Rubics, Rubics, and we have videos that shows you proper cleaning, okay, procedure. You would probably think, oh, I'll just put some soap and water on it and then rinse it under water. It'll be okay. All right. But there are procedures that you have to go through, processes. All right. And most of the time, if you have taken a barbicide training over the weekend, you've learned about those procedures because they're universal, which means across wherever you come from, there's this cleaning process that's normal for everybody. All right. And when we talk about universal, this is what I'm talking about. If you had a facial brush, a masked facial brush, after I use it on my clients, I am going to take it to the sink and wash with soap and water. Okay. After I wash it with soap and water, I am going to drop it in my barbicide or whatever disinfecting solution I have. Once it sets for the required amount of time, I'm going to lift it up out of the jar and I'm going to rinse with water. Okay. Once I rinse that chemical off, I'm going to dry it. Okay. Once I dry it with the towel, then I'm going to put in my UV sterilizer, which is a cabinet that gets rid of all the additional germs. All right. Once it's done in that cabinet, I'm going to probably have a glove on, take a paper towel, pick up that facial brush, and put it in a clean storage area. I may choose another Ziploc bag or put it in a container that is labeled and clean. All right. And that's how I would clean and store my makeup brush, my facial mask brush. Okay. That procedure is similar if you were using anything that you could use again. Of course, disposables, you use them and throw them away. But if I bought this tool and I'm going to continuously using this, even if you're doing lashes, okay, even if you're doing lashes, that's something that you can look at. All right. So as we begin our next segment, let me take some questions. Go into the chat. Go into the chat for me. The last salon or barbershop you went into, I want you to rate the cleanliness. Okay. 10 being top tier, amazing. 1, oh my God, horrible. All right. So go into the chat. The last place you got your hair done, you dropped off someone in the salon. Last time you went into an establishment where there were skin services, whether it's waxing, facials, hair, how would you rate the cleanliness of that establishment? Go into the chat. Let's see. Let's see what the chat says. Ooh, a 4, a
Yes.
3, ooh, a 6, 7. Okay, okay, it gets better, but Raquel and Ashley, ooh, you got to tell me about this 3 and a 4.
For one, when I walked in, the music was blasting. It was profanity in there when you have elderly people in there getting their hair done as well. Not only that, I feel like after each client, you need to sweep around your station, kind of clean it up. But she working in hair, everything. Go to the shampoo bowl. It's still hair from your other client.
Oh,
Plus, you still have dye out.
oh,
It just was. So I haven't been back.
whoa. You just made a boss decision, right? You kept, somebody just lost their money.
I know.
Wow. That's
And
something to
that
think
two
about,
hundred and
guys.
fifty dollars you just lost.
Ooh, that was real talk right there. Oh my goodness. On top of your service at 11. She didn't say, oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay, what? You said 6 p.m. and the room wasn't clean?
Hmm. And the profanity music playing. It's okay to play music, but it's the type of music you play
Yeah. And
when
it's not
clients
all
in
about
there.
you. It's
Yes.
not about you. Yeah. You got to take care of your clients and stuff come like first.
And then her
So now,
coworker having conversations about other beauticians and doing all the cussing. But when you have men in there like they want to be us, no, they
yeah.
don't care about what come out their mouth. So it was,
Oh, God.
yeah.
I had
But
went to
my
get my
hair
makeup
real
done
nice.
and she ate a whole wing while doing my makeup.
Huh?
You said your hair was real nice.
Yeah.
This is reality. Reality. A 4. Wow. Y'all, we're connecting this with money lost because we're trying to make as much money as possible and to feed our families. Can you think of what $250 does for your child? Literally. That's like, and I like to tell my students, if you have a child, and I tell them this when it comes to them giving people discounts. If you have your children right here and you're in the spa, in the salon, and you're servicing clients and you're supposed to make some money, think about every time you give your services away, you take from what you can do for your children. And sometimes that's like the realest I can get because your children need something to eat or you come short on something, a bill or whatever that helps take care of them. You're like, man, if I would have had enough to take care of this and be there, to take care, make sure my kids have everything that they need, especially their essentials. But when that's not the case, sometimes just the money is a realistic thing. So you start to pull back from just the emotional compartment being attached to it and say, this is just business. And that was not good business. $250. I don't even have a child, but I know what I can do with $250. I know how that'll benefit one of my nieces. That's crazy. Okay. And a whole wing. Stop. I'm done. If you in the chat, she ate a whole wing while doing my makeup. Mm.
She did. And she only
So what,
discounted
what
my
do we learn
makeup
from this?
$10. And my appointment
Huh?
was at 11 a.m.
Ooh. And she just discounted you 10?
$10.
Mm. 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 Okay, lesson learned for all of us. Remember, we're taking all of this in. We need to make sure our establishments are clean, good professional practices, and really that food can wait. And then here's the thing: we're doing makeup and touching a client, and then we went and got food. When I tell you, I my mom, y'all know my mom is my mom is still in the hospital, and it's like the days of our lives. It's every day I'm going back and forth, and I'm her advocate. Y'all, my mom was nothing to play with when she was able-bodied. Okay, nothing to play with, and so you're not gonna play with her in the hospital either. And something was going on. Let me go. They're telling me they're done in the chat. Okay. breakout room. There we go. Um, all right. Thank you, Miss Malone. Yeah, she was nothing to play with. Um, but a situation happened and she pulled her it's like a tube out the neck or whatever. She pulled it out and she had blood all over her hands, but her hands were underneath her blanket. And so when I came in, they said, "Oh, she ate this morning." I was like, "Oh, really?" In my mind, I was like, really? Let me check. I know what to check for. And I looked at the food and I said, one thing about mom, she's been even more bougie in the hospital. She doesn't want to eat anything from the hospital. She doesn't want anything from the cafeteria. She literally wants what she wants when she wants it, which means you go to a restaurant and get her food. I'm sick of it. Okay. And for them to tell me she ate this, I was very inquisitive. And I looked at her hands. I said, "Ain't no way that you would allow a person to eat with their hands this dirty. Who does that?" And really just kind of caught them in a fib. And she did not eat. And they were trying to say face a little bit because with how dirty her hands were, why would you allow someone to eat? And that was just like a big, big thing for me. And I think my OCD kicked in that was developed through cosmetology from us having to be under so many strict laws about cleanliness. It just, and I'm supposed to be in a hospital where cleanliness is supposed to be your standard. It was a huge misunderstanding. Um, and the same, and rightfully it should be, because if you're talking about someone eating, everything around them should be clean. And then if you're there to care for someone, their hands, everything around that should be clean as well. So just a big, big issue. And so someone eating a wing and doing makeup, I don't want to smell the fingers. And I know that's with a lot of guys too that go get barber services. They said that their barber's hands stink. I can't imagine where their hands have been. Whether smoking or drinking, they also have said hairdressers, everybody, clients could have a little tart breath. Okay. And I believe everybody else can too. This is why there's an importance and an emphasis on hygiene. Okay. An importance and emphasis on hygiene when it comes to the beauty industry. And so we have to be very, very mindful of that. I really hate that situation happened. Welcome. Worse? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. We're all going to be in class together. We were talking about infection control, and I was just sharing the story about, things not going right. For you guys that had just came on, our students did a survey in the chat and they rated the last beauty establishment they went to as far as cleanliness. 10 superb, one not so, and we had a couple of lows that we were trying to figure out exactly what's happening. And it's very disgusting and discouraging to know that someone is performing services and they don't have the basic understanding of sanitation. We're not even talking about the customer service, the conversation, the music, and things of that nature. That's even more of an awareness. And you guys were on the state board meeting. Y'all, they're looking for those. What you didn't come in on was the 77 complaints that came in. And just like Raquel and anyone on here, you can go to the board, file a complaint, be anonymous or list your name, either one, and they have to address that. And several of them are from being in non-licensed establishments, individuals not being licensed. On top of that, it was the cleanliness or lack of cleaning, and using products and materials that are not passed for usage in the United States. And a lot of times we have individuals who try to bring over European products, African based products that are not cleared to be used here. And it causes damage. And there's a reason our FDA has not approved. So, plenty of stuff. It is so many reports on cleanliness, and you guys can look it up. So many citations about the lack of cleaning in nail shops, braid shops, so be very mindful once we jump into the business. We have something to uphold. As you can see right here, there's a problem with sanitation. And let me just put this nug here. You are not supposed to sleep in your establishment where you perform your services. So it should not be an air mattress where your stylist kids sleep, and that's their residence in that business. If you're gonna do a home salon, that has to be a whole separate entrance, a whole separate entrance, and the home should be separate from the salon. And so there's a lot of sanitary issues that go on all the time. I know, Ashley. I know. Ashley, you had a 4. What was your thing that said a 4? What made you give it a 4?
I was the first one that was talking.
Oh, I'm sorry, Raquel. Raquel, 3. Oh, well, Raquel, the wing, I guess, the wing and the late appointment. So Justice and Kanisha, y'all gave it above a 5. What would be that one thing you would say they need work on? Justice and Kanisha.
Well, the reason I gave it about, I think I said 6 or 7, she's kind of in the process of moving into her new building as well as sharing space with other people. So I noticed when you're sharing space with other people, not everybody is on one accord in terms of like music and customer service and everything. So I didn't have any problem with her. It was just the other tenants that were in the building that were kind of more loud, um, and not as professional.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, wow. And that would be a key component too, that if someone, and that's a component that you have to be careful, because even though someone else you may do a really good job, but if the experience, if the environment is more soothing and more comfortable and it just relaxes you and gives you peace, I'm sure for me, I would go over to the one that gives me the best peace. At my age, that's all I want. I ain't trying to be in nobody's business. I want to relax. Um, and you're going to give me amazing service. It may not be as stellar at this one. You may need a little more practice. I'm willing to go with you on that journey, because I know how you make me feel, how you settle my spirit. So that's very, very important. And Kanisha says the same thing. With my experience, the other stylists wasn't as clean. Okay. In that instance, guys, in that instance, how do you make a decision? What causes you to say, hey, for my clients, knowing that you are the client, and what's determined whether you come back is predicated on how well other people do. If I'm the boss of my business, how much am I going to endure before I make a move for my clients? And so every move I've made has been, when I was working actively in the salon, for the betterment of my clients, because my clients help provide the lifestyle that my family was accustomed to. Now, if you want to lose all your clients because you cool with everybody else in the salon and y'all just hanging out, I'm sure they're not going to share their clients with you, or when they get money, they're not going to give it to you. So we do have to, in a place of maturity, if that happens, we have to figure out what's our next move. What's plan B if this doesn't work out? if I'm having too many clients give complaints. And it really is just business. So we remove the emotional attachment. And if cleanliness is the issue, yes, I'm going to go probably pay a little bit more, but that's going to pay off because my clients are going to appreciate the me choosing a place. And I've heard clients say that choosing a place that is more clean and acceptable to them. Okay. And you will find it will provide. Much about some of the suites, but I do know I have a good friend, Yuri, and I'm going to shout her all the time. She has some of the most cleanest and professional beauty suites in Memphis and Cordova. And one thing you're not going to do, you're not going to come into her establishment smoking weed, loud talking. Just you're not going to come in. She just doesn't attract people who want to do their own wild things. It doesn't get wilder in her establishment. So she sets a tone, and it seems like she can never she's always in high demand, so she's constantly opening up more and more and more. And that, since we have a day class, I do want to be able to take you guys to see her establishments because definitely it's an opportunity to say, okay, are we choosing this or choosing that? And then you can also look at sanitation purposes and things of that nature. But I always recommend if you're going to go to suites and if you're ready and prepared, go somewhere clean where there's good standards set before you. That's also going to mean they're not going to let you tear that stuff up or give them a bad reputation. But if you go somewhere that's barely getting it together and getting by, you're going to have those issues. Okay. Miss Malone, did you have any, or Nene or Jada, did y'all have any notes or comments about what y'all came in on?
Um, I can just say we were just talking about basically discounts. I told them the only person that get their hair done free is my mother. Um, my sister and them, they'll go to other family members, they'll go to another salon and pay for a service. So I figure you should do the same with me because the simple fact you can go to others.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, my bills have to be paid
Mm,
and they're not going to pay my bills. So pay for my service that I give to you, that I render to you. Um, and just knowing sanitation, we were talking about sanitation and how the cleanliness of the building makes a big difference. So um,
a major difference. And so that has always been a decision matter for me. So good job, kudos. Um, I know, and you can help me out with this when it comes to infection control. It says safe work practices require that implements, tools, and equipment be used safely, and that you be aware of situations that can cause accidents. Number one is hairdressers. We cut, okay? And so if I'm gonna hand you some shears, the worst thing I could do is hand it to you with the points out. Let me tell
mhm.
you how sharp these points are. People get their, I don't know if y'all ain't old enough, but grandmama and them, great grandmama and them used to have a belt on the side of the house on the porch. And granddaddy used to take the knife from the butcher knife, his pocket knife, and he would just sit on the porch, 671 Regent Street, little South Memphis. He used to just sit on the porch and just sharpen his knife on the belt, and he'll just have a little cold water sometimes just to hone the knife. But it would be the sharpest thing ever. That is a cold technique that's done with shears as well, and that's done with some of the equipment for skincare. Is how they keep it sharp. We're allowed to move into extractions, and there's different levels of extractions. I'm gonna ask Ms. Malone to share maybe two key points about infection control as I catch this call that they should look for in a salon or barbershop.
Oh, Two things I always look for in infection control is I look at the barbicide jars. If they're nasty, I know they have used the same water or the same barbicide for um 2 or 3 days. You're supposed to change your water out every day that you use your barbicide. Another thing I look for um, is hair on the floor. Once you finish with your with that first initial cut with a client, you should always sweep up the hair. So in between your appointments, I always schedule a 15-minute cleanup. So my appointments, even though they might be back to back, always schedule that 15-minute slot for me to sanitize anything, clean up anything. That means I'm sterilizing my combs. That means I'm cleansing them. And then I'll bring out my next set of combs to always take care of my client. So that way, I always have, well, now I have many sets of combs that I actually sanitize and rotate. But when I started off, it was like 2 or 3 sets of combs that I sanitized and rotated out, making sure that I'm clean at all times because you never know what someone's carrying in their hair and it could be passed on to the next client. You know, I've seen a lot of clients a lot of stylists just go in the sink and wash the comb and you wash it and okay, but have you sanitized it? Have you let it sit in the barbicide the proper amount of time to kill any germ that might be on the combs? And a lot of times we don't do that. We just trying to do a quick fix so we can get to moving and get our next customer, but we're not thinking about the sanitational purposes of cleaning the comb properly, making sure your chair is cleaned off because you never know what if a person is a host or not, because they can be a host carrying something and they're just passing the disease on. So they're the host person and they're just passing the disease to the next person. So you never know what you run across. And what made me actually get really deep in sanitation was when I was in hair school and I was cutting a little boy hair. And I thought I did my what's the name? Thorough. And he had a lot of hair on his head. And so I did just to look through the hair. But when I started cutting his hair, he had a tick in his head, embedded in his scalp. And I had to throw away all of my equipment. And we actually had to stop the service and send him to the fire department to get the tick out his head because he was saying he had a lot of headaches. And his mom was like, well, maybe he need a haircut. So that kind of threw me off. And since then, I've been like really deep on sanitation because you never want to experience that in your life. It was traumatic for me just to see the little boy and he was talking about headaches and to see the tick embedded in his head and just have to go through, you know, that issue. So that's why I've been really big on sanitation. I'm always scheduling to make sure that my 15 minutes in between to clean. But I think that's all. My two biggest things were the barbicide and sweeping. And I look at stations too, because if your station is a mess, that means you haven't had time to sanitize or clean your station from one person. And also look at pre-set up before your client come. If you know what your client is getting, have it already pre-set up. That's just like packing your bag for state board. You can pre-set up your appointment knowing what you need already, have it already set up and ready to go. You can do that within your 15 minutes so you won't be running back and forth losing time. So that also helps. Any questions or comments? No one has anything? All right, let's see. Where do we leave off at? I have a question for who was that had the wing? Raquel. Now, was she eating the wing over your face while she was doing the makeup?
No, she ate it and then she stopped. When she stopped and ate it, and she started back on makeup.
So she put you on pause.
Yeah. And she ain't sanitize her hands or nothing.
Oh, you didn't tell her wash her hands?
No, I didn't.
That's one thing I've learned about being a stylist and being in the industry for a long time. Even when I go to the nail shops, you know how they just start on the next person without washing their hands and stuff and just start on you. They brush off with a little brush and keep going. I'd be like, you gonna wash your hands? And then I show them my license and then they be thinking I'm state board after that.
I was not ready to go. Like, I was just ready to go.
Yeah. Always voice your opinion on stuff like that because you're making them look at themselves and now you're putting standards up. So this way the person can be like, um, well, I've been doing this with you all along now. What changed now? So if I stop you the first time and say something to you the first time, I got expectations on what's supposed to happen. And I think a lot of the industry, we get comfortable with just basically accepting whatever people give us. But at the end of the day, this is my money that I'm spending. So if it's my money that I'm spending, and it comes with experience, I've been in the game a long time. If this is the money I'm spending, I expect A1
Yeah.
customer service. So I have learned to voice my opinion when I go places. Like I said, even when I went to the nail salon and she didn't get up and wash her hands, I was like, you telling me wash my hands, you go wash your hands. You just finished one client and ain't sanitized and change your implements out. And then she went to talking stuff, and then I put my translator on so I could hear what she was saying on my phone because they be talking mess to us. And then all you gotta do is say
Definitely.
stay bored. And when you say stay bored, they get to doing right because they already know the business. And
Mm-hmm.
so
That's definitely right. Can I don't know if I'm considered a state law guru or anything, but since you said that, uh, there's a state law, guys, a rule, let me say a rule that says before you commit service on any patron, you must wash your hands. That's for every student and licensed professional. So if someone is preparing to service you and you have not seen them or they don't acknowledge that their hands are clean, that's a citation. And today they did discuss where they were as far as finding because they wanted to raise the fines, but right now the highest fine is $1,000. And they were saying if you raise it too high, they wouldn't be able to afford it. So that's a citation. It may not be up to $1,000, but they could literally get citation from 10, I think $10 to $1,000. So make sure you guys are washing your hands. That's on one. Let's look at some of our responsibilities. It says it's your responsibility to be professional to use proper and effective infection control methods that help safeguard your health and the health of your clients. Here's where your responsibility and accountability comes in as we go over this chapter, you then, after this point, will be held responsible for sanitation and cleanliness around you and whatever shift you're on. It is an actual practice of you participating every day. So we talk about participation grade every day. You also get time to provide that sanitation. If the sanitation is not done, likewise, you won't get the time for the sanitation or the participation points. We have to do that because you have to acknowledge, we have to say to the board that we have taught you, you understand, and you are good to go over to licensed land. Okay. And the board is trusting us to do that. All right. And so when you get over to licensed land, you already know what to do, how to do it, and you just build on it from there. But if you get over to licensed land and do like some people and disregard cleanliness, it is going to be a major, major issue. Okay. And I have seen people get citations, last checks, get citations for not having a clean suite when the inspector came in. Okay. So the biggest thing was cleanliness, and they did not pass the score. Same thing when it comes to the aesthetic skincare equipment not being clean, lamp foggy, things of that nature. We're responsible for that. And so our job as educators is to teach you. And once you have this understanding, is you to practice it every day. And as you practice it every day, you get better and better and better. Okay. Since sanitation also is a major component of your theory and practical, you have to practice because you just can't say, I'm gonna do it when I show up at the test. That's the time where everything goes wrong. All right. So it's our responsibility. Also, we may do some research about salons or individuals getting citations and sued because of the spread of disease of bacteria in their establishments. For one, I think it was California. When you look at the pedicures, the pedicure station, they were doing the pedicures, letting the water out. They were cleaning the surface of that you can see on the outside, but when they let the water back in, the bacteria from that lab person's foot, that old dead skin was at the bottom, and it recalibrates in the water. Okay. And so you got another person. Just think how many people sat in their pedicure chair that all that dead skin cells just come up. Well, people started to get these little lesions on their foot and pretty much in the same area under the water line. And they all pretty much went to the doctor, reference back to the spa. Someone did a report, and yes, the bacteria, the infection spread it from that particular nail spa. And all of those individuals had very, very severe sores, open sores. I want to say it was something like a ringworm lesion or something of that nature, but it was nasty. And it was on the foot underneath the water line. Okay. And so that's crazy. And then it was another young lady who was at a spa and she was doing waxing. And here's a note. Every time that you will wax a client, you have to use a new strip and also use a new stick that you pull the wax out with. You cannot take that stick and keep using that stick on every client or even on your same client. Every time you put that stick in and you put that product, that wax on the client's skin, you cannot put that stick back in. No double dipping. All right. So the sticks are less than 1% in value. So I'm talking about less than a penny when you look at all of them together. You get 1,000 for like $4.99. All right. So very, very minimized as far as money. You can waste a stick. You can protect your client by using a new stick. So they would take the wax, heat it up, take the stick, dip it in, put it on the client's eye, do that eyebrow, and they will double dip with the stick. Okay. So whatever picked up off the client also went back into the pot. You will have some companies that say because the pot is heated, it's killing bacteria. But there's a lot of types of bacteria that does not, there's a lot of resistance bacteria as well. All right. And so they're putting it in, taking out, putting it in, taking it out, putting it in, taking it out. Well, you got clients after about a couple of days, you start to look, they got rashes along the brow area. And also, if this is the same pot that you're doing Brazilians and vaginal waxing and things like that in, it's a major no-no. So you're going to get that. You have to be mindful. You cannot same pot it. Even though you have individual plastic, durable plastic applicators that said, hey, you can double dip, it is definitely going to be a no-no for me. Well, that bacteria hits the pot, it stirs in, people going from the facial area to eyebrow area, wherever they're doing waxing, and that bacteria is following. So there was this lady that had herpes. She went to a wax studio. They waxed her. Okay. They waxed her. And this person double dipped and was using the same stick and spatula and all that just for fast speed and getting everybody through. Y'all, tons of clients also reported that they received herpes, and they either had it on the top lip from lip waxing, or they had it in the brow area. That's horrible. All right. That's absolutely horrible. It ruins your reputation, your client basis, your character as a beauty professional. That's saying, hey, you're going to be accountable for sanitation, sanitizing, disinfecting of your area. It's horrible. And it opens you up to lawsuit because they pay you in response to you doing what you were taught professionally and what you have a license on. And if you don't follow that, you took a shortcut trying to be cheap, that's null and void. So now you open yourself up to lawsuit. Okay. It's a whole lot of things. The establishment could be sued, and also you could be sued as well. It's a whole lot of things. So you want to watch that. Okay. Let's look at focusing on infection code vocabulary. These are 4 terms that we're going to explore, 4 additional terms on top of infection control. Cleaning. Let's know the difference between cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, and sterilization. Okay. So cleaning, I'm going to do here. We're going to put these in different colors. It used to be 3. Okay. Now it's 4. Okay. And as the books mature, you'll see them adding more relevant information. So cleaning, a mechanical process using soap and water or detergent and water to remove all visible debris and many disease-causing germs, surface level. Cleaning also removes invisible debris that interferes with disinfection. You know, that's just wiping, guys. In my eyes, it's clean because I don't see it. Okay, so that's just cleaning. We're using soap and water. Okay, when we wash our clothes, that's in the cleaning category. When we wash our hands, that's in the cleaning category. Okay, I'm just cleaning. I just don't see the dirt no more. It doesn't mean it ain't still there. I just don't see it. Okay, so cleaning, washing my hands. Cleaning could also be shampooing. Cleaning could be washing our clothes and washing our towels. All right. Sanitize. This is the chemical process for reducing the number of disease-causing germs on clean surfaces to a safe level. And I have Nini on here as well, because sanitation is going to be a big component for you as well. So just continue to chime in, hunker down. But yeah, infection control professional consider sanitation to be a lay person's term, just an average term or product marketing term. All right. So it's cleaning plus you have a little extra. It's a chemical process. So now you have a spray, that's, of course, you have to watch it. It's a chemical. It's going to help reduce. So you now, when you go into the stores, you're trying to see what am I going to use to clean this area. Cleaning initial is mechanical. It's just soap and water. But now sanitizing, I got to use a chemical. All right. And so that chemical is going to allow us to clean the area, but it's also going to help get rid of some disease causing germs. Okay. And at school, we call it sanitation time. All right. And so this is the area where we will activate at the end of the day, sometimes the beginning of the day, after each service, we do sanitation. All right. At the end of the week, maybe on a Saturday, I may do some deep disinfection. So what we call deep cleaning, that would be our disinfection. Okay. And if we had certain equipment and tools that need to be disinfected, we would do that immediately to replace sanitation. We'll look at disinfecting. It's a chemical process for use with non-porous items. Okay, so we're talking about surfaces that cannot absorb water. All right, your facial beds, your chairs, your massage table, your wax tables, things of that nature. Your magnifying glass. All right. A chemical process for use with non-porous items that uses specific products to destroy harmful organisms, including bacteria, viruses, and fungi, except bacterial spores on implements and environmental surfaces. All right. So disinfecting and sanitation is two things that we do in our salon. All right. Disinfecting, barbicide wipes. You're going to see that a lot at Dci Academy. You don't have to be particularly a brand name, because barbicide is a brand name. But we want to make sure that we have something, that we use something that's going to kill bacteria, kill viruses, and kill fungi. All right. So we want to get rid of fungus, get rid of germs, bacteria, and get rid of things that causes viruses. Okay. So definitely disinfection is probably one of our major things, even in your households, because when you look at what you have under the cabinet, it's going to probably fall in the disinfecting category. All right. And so Clorox wipes, let me tell you, does not fall in disinfecting category for a school or salon. All right. Here's why. Because it may kill bacteria. It may even fight against viruses, but one of the three is not going to fight against. All right. You got to make sure that it's bacteria, viruses, and fungi. If you're going to stay bored, do not take Clorox wipes. You must take something with the label on it that said kills bacteria, viruses, and fungi. Everybody understand, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you get it. Also, put a 2 in the chat if you finna start looking under your sink and in the shower on what your products kill. You're going to be more evident, more mindful of what you're purchasing to make sure you can get it. All right. So it needs to kill bacteria, viruses, and fungi. So be mindful of the wipes that you do purchase. Yeah, they're great for cleaning. But if I'm really trying to get deep into it, I need to get something that takes care of these three. Now, here's the thing. When COVID came about and everybody, looking for this, man, we couldn't find no bleach. If guys think about it, what were your issues? I couldn't find no bleach. And what I did, we found some, but I even had clients couldn't find We all went for the Clorox wipes. We were at Sam's. We were getting anything we could. We didn't know. And a lot of time we still don't know what we were doing. But the whole time I'd had what we needed in the school, in the storage cabinet. So we started to make sure the students had a spray bottle of the Barbicide. Y'all, the Barbicide had on there that it killed COVID-19. Didn't even know. And it killed so many things. And so what we needed, our state had already said that, hey, you know, that's what it is. So at the end of the day, that's just simply what it is. And we had everything. So I appreciate our state for just saying, hey, this is a requirement. Yes, definitely. This is a requirement. And for a lot of people that like to use bleach, you have to really consider bleach. And whether it can be, sufficient for the salon space. We've grown up that hey, you bleach it, it's clean. Okay. But honestly, using bleach, household bleach, there's so many different types of bleach. You have industry level bleach and you have household bleach. All right. I remember this. I even used Fabuloso, was cleaning with Fabuloso when it was practical, early when it came out. My inspector said, do not use, he said, when I walk in, I want to see it clean, but I don't want to smell it. And basically, he was saying he didn't want to smell that Fabuloso smell. It was strong, or he didn't want to smell the bleach smell. It was strong. And he said, take into consideration if I was a client and I'm sitting there inhaling different fumes, and we think we're really cleaning, it could be doing something to my system. He said, you have so many people that are allergic to so many things, but just be mindful of that when clients come in. And I took that as a great notion. I'm always mindful now. I wanted to clean effectively, but it doesn't have to be super loud, because sometimes you can't even function in a place where they used a lot of bleach. And that's the same thing. Think about your close knit. And even if you're going to work in a suite, I will always look for ventilation. If there's no ventilation in that room, I need to get me one of those little man, what is it called? It circulates the air, and that will help you also in cleaning, so the room does not stay. You don't have that strong cleaning smell in the room. It just kind of circulates the air, and it's better for your clients as well, that they won't be coughing and things of that nature. So think about your practices and what you're using and how effective it is. And you want to, if you're going to be in beauty, you want to look for bacteria, something that kills bacteria, viruses, and fungi. Do it now, so it'll be easy for you when you go over to State Board, and when you're licensed, you just pick it on up. Okay, we're trying to kill and cut down on some of the major components that causes disease and infection in our salons and spas. Sterilizing is the process that destroys all microbial life, including spores, generally with the use of an autoclave. Okay, with the use of an autoclave. Here's the thing here. We have, it's mandated for every skin shop, hair shop, nail shop to have something sterilizing unit when we open. Okay, what does that look like, Ms. Cox, for skincare? It looks like hot towel cabinet with UV sterilizer attached, or just UV sterilizer by itself. If you can find a hot towel cabinet with UV sterilizer, you got two requirements in one. You're ready to open up shop. Okay. When we clean our items with soap and water, then put them in our disinfectant solution for set amount of time, remove them from the disinfectant solution, rinse them, dry them, and we put them in our sterilizer cabinet. All right, sterilizer cabinet. The sterilizer cabinet helps kill the spores, so the thing that caused the germs. All right, if you don't shut down what caused the germs are going to continuously come back. So we need to make sure that we're using that sterilizer cabinet to kill what caused the germs. Then we take that item and put it in a clean container, baggy, labeled, clean, and ready for the next person or whenever you're going to use it again. Okay. Traditionally, you would say, Ms. Cox, how would they sterilize? Well, if you're at home, you got a new baby, you take the baby bottles and you put it in boiling water. 212 degrees boiling hot water. You dip something in that water, lift it up, you have killed the germs. You have killed the spores, spores. Without killing the spores, that germ will continue to multiply. All right. So even with you cleaning it and it looks great surface, I need to put it into my sterilizer cabinet, my autoclave within my salon, my spa, that really gets rid of the birth of the bacteria. Okay. Remember, we want to be on a healthy journey. We want to have inclusive environment that we are transparent with our clients and they can tell that we're clean. They can tell that I have their best interests in hand. And that's what's going to keep them coming back and just keep them patronizing us. So everybody needs to know the difference between cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, and sterilizing. Mentally, I want you to kind of reference that as well. You may be asked, what's the difference between cleaning and sanitizing? What's the difference between sanitizing and disinfecting? What's the difference between disinfecting and sterilization? Okay. Those are 4 components not going anywhere. We're just going to get deeper into them. Any questions or comments about cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, or sterilizing? Okay. Some of your disinfectants that you have in home, it will say disinfectants. It'll tell you exactly what you use it for. Okay. And some of your things will say cleaning only, cleaning. And the reason there was an issue with Fabuloso at one point, we could not locate an EPA number. Okay. So look on your disinfectants or whatever you're using, and you want to look at the label and look for something that says EPA number. Okay. That EPA number says, hey, safe to be used, blank, 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 blank. Okay. If you have a cleaning item that does not have an EPA number, it probably should not be used in home or salon. Okay. The chemicals may be too harsh, have not been rated by the Environmental Protection Agency. So you want to make sure that it's good as well. Sometimes we like to use a lot of foreign things because we think we're doing better, we're getting better. It may be too strong. Okay. And then you may have something like 409. It's a disinfectant. Tells you exactly you're going to spray it. And most of the time with disinfectant, you spray it, you let set, you come back and you wipe. When you let set, it allows it to spray and reach as many germs and bacteria as possible. And so disinfecting in the salon is really what we consider our deep cleaning. Okay. And it should be done whenever we have time to get it done. Sanitation is what I expect the students to do. That's what I expect the students to do. Just a general cleaning of your area. And when it comes to educated staff and cleaning crew, they come in and do the deep cleaning. And things have changed. Ms. Malone can tell you a lot of things. And we got that from just a state put that we don't make students do the whole, treat the students like housekeepers. That was a thing in the state. And so students are set cleaning and sanitizing. We consider sanitation purposes. And most schools and companies will bring in someone to do deep cleaning. Okay. And so, but when you get into your salon and spa, you will know that you are responsible for everything, and whatever they as a team have you do it as a team. Okay. You make money as a team, you're going to clean as a team. You're going to go nowhere where people are going to clean up behind Okay. And so that is one of my number one things in the school now. I may have a young lady that does an amazing, amazing job, amazing, amazing job, but her participation grade in cleaning is not uh, it's not spotless. So that brings her, participation and her sanitation grade down a little bit, which will probably affect her at graduation, and she may not have excelled all the checkoffs just because of sanitation. Okay, she'll still graduate, but she may not be recognized in the top three. So you have to make sure that you're stellar on all ends. And with us, we wanted to definitely make sure sanitizing and disinfecting is not foreign to you. So as you start to clean and go in today, figure out what am I doing in my home? What am I doing? What am I using? Is there what why did I even buy this? What made me purchase this over that? Okay. So check that out. Where can you get disinfecting wipes or spray for the beauty industry? Um, for everybody that's local, of course, you can go to Cosmoprop and you can really go. We need to send you guys an ID. If you haven't sent me a picture that you would like on your school ID, send me a picture. Okay, not a cartoon. Send me a picture of you that you want on your school ID. We'll create the school ID and we'll send it back to you. When you go into these stores, you're going to open up your phone and show them your school ID. Okay. At Cosmoprof, you'll have to send your school ID in for you to get a student ID account. And I think students get like a discount on hair, skin products, things of that nature. That's at Cosmoprof. Um, and I need to probably post that in the group. Also, M Squared. If you're in Memphis, you're in Hickory Hill, past Sam's, you get off on 385 at Winchester. You'll make a left. I think we're behind Juicy Crab in the same shopping center as um, J.C. Penney's in that area where Marshall's is. There's a beauty supply store called M Squared. It's less than a year old. It's really a wholesale. You cannot shop here unless you're a student or you're a licensed professional. Okay? It's called M Squared. And it's really, if you look it up, it's Merchant Squared. But they're open, I think, 7 days a week, guys. The school has an account there. Once you have if you want to shop there, just tell them to pull up my account and it'll allow you to buy whatever you want to buy at a discounted rate. This one is for the skincare girlies. It is good for hair people too, but they got more supplies for skincare girlies, like supplies, waxing, um, all your disinfectants, all your lashes, glue, just your wipes, your pads, your cotton rolls, all that stuff for skincare girls. They have majority of that, but it's a hair place too. They got some hair stuff too. But M Squared, I forgot the young lady name, but you can give her the school name or my name, and you should be able to use the discount. And you can even call me at the register. But once you get your ID, you can go in there and create your own student account, and you would get a similar discount as what the school gets. Okay. And sometimes those places are great because you always don't have time to wait on Amazon. So, or wherever you're gonna get certain things. So I like it because it's a good place for me to go and stock up. And whenever I need something. So, and I get my soft wax from there because it's cheaper than Cosmoprof. All right. Um,
Miss Cox,
yes,
are you gonna still mail us our kits, or you just gonna wait until we get in the classroom this month?
classroom.
Okay, okay,
But
okay.
what I need to do is send me the picture so y'all can go ahead and get your ID. I can do that. We can do that now. Between Ms. Richardson can work on that. So you'll have your school ID, your digital school ID, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And you can do the digital school ID at dcicosmo@gmail.com. Just send it there. We'll get the ID made and send it over so you guys can go get your discount cards or create those accounts, especially for the one that's local here in Memphis. And Cosmo Prof, I think, is all over the country, but you'll have to create an account and do that, fill it out, and they will actually submit your school ID. And so you will need that for both, okay? So here we go. As we begin to close, just continue reading chapter 5. We had a big emphasis on determining the difference between cleaning, sanitizing, disinfecting, and sterilizing. And so that was the biggest component. We did do a reference related to state board and establishments that we have visited. We rated that. Also, we understand there's a major importance of sanitation, disinfection, infection control when it comes to Tennessee State Board of Cosmetology and our exam. So continue reading. We're going to pick back up Wednesday, dive deeper into this subject matter, and the assignment that's due Sunday for estheticians is going to be the check-in questions. Go ahead and start. As you read, you'll come upon your check-in questions, okay? If that is all, I see you guys on Wednesday, and send me those pictures so we can go ahead and get your IDs settled in. Okay, we'll get it back to you ASAP, and then you guys could go visit the store any day this week. I would prefer you guys to go check it out and just to see what you like about it and if there's something in there that you can use. So until next time, y'all be blessed. Miss Malone, thank you for jumping on, and I'll give you a call a little later once I'm getting a business plan together about us going back into the building. So I just got some approvals today. I gotta get some stuff over to the board. So we had to just go through the process, and so also heading to take care of my loved one, see where that progress is going, and then I send that plan out, and then we're gonna get pumped and excited about being back in our amazing space. Also, you guys, it is celebration time. DCI Academy turns, DCI Education Group, DCI Academy turns 6 this year, and our anniversary is February the 18th. So just super, super excited. So if you see something on social media, just share it, and we're gonna probably do something about, we're gonna have a meetup or a dinner or something because we celebrate this year. We have crossed the hump. Okay. So I look forward to, oh, and I have the graduation date. Everybody on here will be participating in that graduation. So a lot of good stuff coming up on Wednesday. I'll give y'all some updates. So y'all have a blessed and amazing day. And if you need anything, you know how to contact me. God bless y'all. Thank you.
Bye bye.
All right.
Have a